as future consultants form your campaigns, you have to really focus on two bases of your campaign. The first base is the emotional base and the second is value-driven base. So when I talk about emotional base, you need to understand what are the emotional drivers of your target audience. What makes them think, what makes them want to be around your leader, what makes them really love your leader or hate your leader. That is a different issue altogether. So that emotional connect with the voters is very important. And there are predominantly two emotions that play a big part in mobilizing the voters, not just here, around the world, not just in the last century, but the last 3,000, 4,000 years of human existence, regardless of democracy or no democracy. Fortunately or unfortunately, I would say unfortunately only, the biggest driving emotion that's been used by most of the political consultants in the world and whoever the campaigners were in the past to kind of make the people think in a certain way or to follow a certain order or kind of adhere to a campaign. That emotion is a negative one, that is fear. Fear mongering has somehow become the base of political campaigns, not just here but all around the world. And I would call it as a destructive communication technique. Why destructive? Because in the short term, the campaign and communications work really well for your clients and they may give really great results, but in the long run, they end up causing havoc in the society, not just for that period of time, but for the next century or half a century or so. And that is something most of the political consultants in the world really fail to see, even in India and anywhere else in the world. So that emotion, no matter how lucrative that is, I think for voter mobilization, the second emotion is something that as young political consultants you should be looking at is hope and aspiration. Because hope and aspiration is something that every human being in the world wants. Every human being wants to know that their entire existence can grow out of their limitations, their community can grow, their country can grow, and they can reach places which naturally seem unreachable for them. And any campaign created around that hopes and aspirations has mobilized voters better than the negative campaigns is what the data says, number one. And number two, those campaigns are marked in history. Negative emotion, the campaigns which have used negative emotions have been forgotten in history, but any campaign that has actually had a positive impact in the society has been remembered forever, including our ancestors, whatever stories that we've been hearing. Whenever a hero wins, people love it, and that's what everybody should go for. And one of the biggest examples of that particular emotion is Barack Obama's campaign in 2008 and 2012 as together. So anybody who can tell me that in the postmodern society, no, positive campaigns don't work, there are many campaigns, but the best one is the Barack Obama campaign, right? And that campaign is still remembered as one of the best campaigns ever run in political consultancy anywhere in the world. The second most important thing that I'm going to add to this thinking for voter mobilization is what I personally believe is value-driven communication. As political consultants, you should be able to first really analyze and assess the geographical area of your target voters, the local culture, and entirely the local interpersonal community communications, and what values the voters over there hold. Especially 5 values that I'm going to write down right now. First is family, second is children, third is economic prosperity of that family, fourth is community relations, and fifth one being the entire oneness of this country. There is a value that we hold. We all think my country should be in a particular way, and we have assigned a certain value to that. If you somehow find a common base between the emotions that you are going to trigger of your target voters and the values that those voters hold dear to their hearts, that combination will make you a sustainable campaign that will definitely make it successful. Then your what's, how's, ifs and buts come. But your base of voter mobilization should start from your heart to the heart of the voter. If you are not able to do that, then trust me, the campaign is less likely to succeed. So, in terms of voter mobilization, please concentrate on your whys. Know why you are doing the campaign. what you want to achieve out of that campaign, and what emotions and what values you want to put in the campaign. If you create that framework, your voter mobilization as a consultant would be in a much smoother way, is what I believe. Yeah, I think that would be a short thing I want to say, and pass it on to.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Chintanji. So nice of you. You have rightly, initiated the discussion, and the important point you highlighted is that whole country, and probably that's true for almost all countries, and we particularly the South Asian countries, that we are emotionally driven. And you emphasize a lot on how the fear-driven campaigns are, and rather we should focus on hope. But we need to also take it with a pinch of salt, how hope is to be disjuncted from the fear, because the fear is also created for a kind of another hope. So anyway,